going to try this again, see how long I had it. The stand I have it on is shaking. But, as I was saying, as a witch, I see it as a summertime. As a medium, secretary for the dead, I see it as a very, depending on the year. Sometimes it's not so bad. Sometimes, it's just a little more hectic than usual. Other times it can be torture. It can be absolutely horrible. So, whatever the energy is doing that year, that's how I see it as a secretary for the dead. It's raining. And, as I said before, I think in my other video, I believe in my heart of hearts that the Celts did the 3-day celebration by separating it into life, death, and rebirth. And I try to incorporate those things in them. Like on the 30th, I will usually, not this year, but usually, prepare for the party that I'm going to have on Halloween. And I will sit and contemplate life and what it means to live and what I still have not accomplished that would make me feel as if I'm truly alive and things like that. And then after sundown, I start focusing more on death. And I don't know, my relationship with my ancestors is kind of strange, I think. I have ancestors that I absolutely adore. My great-grandmother. And I don't know if I've ever talked about this before. Have I ever told you guys how none of my dead people in my family will actually speak to me for some reason? Including my beloved great-grandma, whom I was her favorite. But my great-great-aunt will, because she sees me as her legacy. But that's a whole other story right there. But it's very odd. They won't talk to me, but I can feel them when they're around. And I absolutely do honor them. I think you guys have seen what I do with the mantle, where I put up all the pictures of all, whether I knew them or not, all the pictures I have of my dead ancestors. But it's a mixed bag, because any family has their people that they loved and adored, and the people that they're just like, I can't fucking believe I'm related to that jerk off. In my case, my grandfather, or my great-grandfather, my grandma's dad, he walked out on 4 children and went to be with my great-grandmother's best friend and lived with her until he died at the ripe old age of like 89. My great-grandma died of cancer at 70 after losing her daughter, and he had no fucks to give. He was in Florida. He did not care that his daughter was dead. He completely disowned them. He came and beat my great-grandmother one time because one of the kids told one of his friends that he was their dad. He was a total piece of shit jerk-off. And as someone who also had a deadbeat total piece of shit jerk-off for a sperm donor, I really dislike it. Oh my god. I hit the fucking caramel in the bag with the pages instead of doing that. And then my great-grandmother, the one that I love and adore, her mom killed her dad. And with good reason. He was a psychotic, abusive bastard. He did shit like bust out one of their daughter's ears with a tire pump. He broke one of his kids' arms with a ringer washer. If you don't know what that is, Google it. When she was like 4. Like, he was a horrible human being. And she had finally kicked him out, and she started hearing around their little town in Ironton that he was coming to kill her. And the 2 kids that were left at the house, because all the rest of them, they were grown and gone. And she knew he was serious. So she waited for him with a shotgun, and when he came into the house, totally prepared to kill her, she killed him first. She was on trial in Ironton, Ohio, for it. Maybe they probably took her to Portsmouth. I've read the trial paper from the newspaper down there, but I don't remember where they took her. Probably Portsmouth, because it would have been a bigger. No, that's a different county. So yeah, Ironton. Anyway, she was tried for first-degree murder. His family, who had nothing to do with him because he was a psychotic piece of shit, came in and talked about what a wonderful guy he was and tried to get her hanged, literally. It was a hot mess, but she did get off on the charges. She was not convicted, and she didn't change her last name in the name of the 2 kids that were left at home, but she did change the spelling. And I had I have never figured out how the whole cousin thing goes, second, third, fourth. Her dad was my grandma's first cousin. And she asked me one time, like, why is this Deerfield spelled differently from this Deerfield? Yeah, you're going to have to ask your grandma about that one. I grew up my whole life hearing that story, but she didn't grow up with her dad, so she didn't hear that story. I was not going to be the one to tell it to her. But yeah, and then I would still like somebody to come and, I don't know, double check the records or do something with what I found on Ancestry.com, because it is very easy to make a mistake on there, and if you make one mistake, the whole tree is useless from that point on. But according to Ancestry.com, and y'all know me, I was meticulous as a motherfucker, but that doesn't mean anything. According to Ancestry.com, I am related to Eleanor V. Aquitaine, which so are thousands of other people. That does not make me special, just so we're clear on that. But it's funny because if you've ever read Rapunzel, you know Eleanor is a big part of it. And I first heard about Eleanor in 7th grade when I was 12 years old. We read a book called A Proud Taste for Scarlet and Guinevere. Awesome book, by the way. And my language arts teacher was telling us about all the amazing things Eleanor did and the type of woman she was. And it's like, you know, this is 12th century England, and she's a badass. You go, girl. And I was fascinated with her, and have been fascinated ever since then. So when I read that I was related to her, not once, not twice, but 4 times, because, you know, God forbid people not fuck their cousins for centuries. When I found that out, I was really psyched about it. But again, it's a mixed bag, because in order to be related to Eleanor, you have to be descendant from John Lackland. And me, like, I don't know, I see history differently than a lot of people, I think, because, like, I take history personal. And John Lackland was a fucking prick. He was a horrible person. He, literally, the coronation of John Lackland is what killed his poor mother. She's like, man, I done had 3 sons that were supposed to be, and 2 sons that were supposed to be king. They both would have been absolutely better than you. You're what I'm stuck with. Fuck it. I'm gonna let go. Just die. True story. She really did not like him. She always said he was his father's son. And then he was a traitor to him, too. But yeah. So, in order to be related to Eleanor, I have to be related to John Lackland, and this was my favorite part. Oh, you know it was my favorite part. And, Longshanks. Y'all ever watch Braveheart? The horrible human being who did everything he could to completely demolish the Scots. I'm related to that jerk off. Best part, because when you start getting into, like, royalty and people with money, your fucking family history, you can trace it back forever. I wasn't anticipating all that when I agreed to do it for my grandmother, because, yeah, there was no inclination that we ever had money in my family. But, yeah, anyway, back in the, oh my god, I did it. Back in the 800s or 900s, we're related to the Bruces. Now, I don't know if it's, there's some type of relation to Robert the Bruce. I don't know what. Like, I doubt it's his grandma or something. We're talking 5th-century difference, 4th-century difference. But I just thought that was ironic. I have a lot of Scottish in me. I have a lot of Irish in me. And for me, oh no. Y'all give me a minute here. I'm gonna cry. I don't even know if you can hear me. For me, it is easier to focus on the few family members that I really, really love and who've passed away. Like all of my great aunts, my great grandma. Because my grandmother started out with 3 sisters, and within 10 years they were all gone. And that was again another situation where my strange perspective on death really made me quite an outsider. But anyway, I focus on them. Like, I put pictures up of everybody, and I honor them and thank them for being my ancestor and all that good shit. But it is easier for me personally to focus on heritage. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not good at focusing on direct family ties. Not just because there were jerk-offs in my family. There's jerk-offs in every family. But because there again, I have a weird perspective. It was actually while I was tracing my family tree that I got the very distinct impression. This is one of those things that when it hit me, it was like, well, duh. But I had never thought about it before. One of those type of deals. I feel like between past lives and genetics, we are all related. I just feel, I think that there is no way that we wouldn't be. Because if you look at all the past lives you've had, and then you start tracing your family, and you see that it was not the fucking of 2 people who made you, it was the thousands and thousands of people who went into making them that helped make you. Once you look at that and you see how many people actually truly go into making one person, and you think about all the lives that you've led and all the different connections that you could have made in that life, we're all related. So for me, it's more about focusing on that, I guess. I don't know. Like I said, I do specifically name my great-grandmother, both of my great-grandmothers. I was really close to one. I wasn't really all that close to Grandpa's mom, but I still honor her. But my grandma Betty, she's